Disneyland zombies attack. Walt Disney World meet and greets may return. And is this new Genie Plus service all it's cracked up to be, or is it creating a two-tiered guest demographic? Lots to talk about. It's October 23rd, 2021. Kingdom Report Live starts now.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
Kicking things off with a live look outside of the Disneyland Resort, Paradise Pier, and Grand Californian Space Mountain, and the tippy-tip top of the Disneyland Park train station. What a beautiful cloudy day, a fall day, that is, at the Disneyland Resort. Hello, everyone. Wade for the Kingdom Report. Back with you once more to cover all the latest Disney Parks news from coast to coast. This is your home for trusted theme park perspective. We connect you to more of what makes you happy and get you informed the way that you should be. Happy October to you as we march along towards the Disney version of Christmas, just steps away. As we all know, they are already implementing elements of the holidays into the theme parks as we speak. But lots to talk about today in terms of Disney Parks news. Before we get there, though, want to make sure that you are rewarded for watching this broadcast. And we have some good news and some bad news. The good news is that you can win some official 50th anniversary merchandise from Walt Disney World. The bad news is the person that won the last time, that entered, well, unfortunately, after multiple attempts, never responded. And so now it's time to re-give away the Disney World 50th anniversary hat that should have been given away the last time, so their misfortune is your good fortune. And all you got to do this time is leave a comment underneath this very video on our YouTube channel, the Kingdom Report YouTube channel. Under this video, after the live video posts, leave the comment, Magical Celebration. That's right, Magical Celebration is the comment you need to leave underneath this video after it posts on the Kingdom Report YouTube channel. You have until after the live version of the show posts, until Monday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific time to leave the comment, Magical Celebration. That will enter you to win. We will reach out to you if you are the winner, and please pay attention if we reach out to you. We'll give you a couple of opportunities to respond, and then certainly we will find a way to get you that spectacular 50th anniversary official hat that you so deserve. So remember, Magical Celebration in the comment section after the live video posts on our YouTube channel, and then you can have up until Monday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific time in order to leave said comment. All right. My friends, there's always a lot to touch on in these broadcasts, but we can't do it alone. And I say we as in I. I can't do it alone. And therefore, I have pals with me. From the depths of the darkness, terrifying Tyler Crouch and killer Katrina Manzoni. Hey.
Oh my gosh, that frightened me.
Hey, Bear.
Yeah. How's it going?
Hi.
Approaching Halloween.
I feel like it's been a really long time.
It has been a really long time. Reach out and feel something for once, am I right?
Reach out.
For once in my
Even
life.
you. I haven't seen you in a long time either.
Yeah, where have you been?
Happy Saturday.
Gosh.
Watch out for Killer Katrina, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm dangerous.
Killer, even.
Yeah, you don't have to tell me twice.
He's used to being killed by her.
Oh
Happens
my
a lot.
gosh. He's
Yeah.
a ghost. Did you know that?
Is that so?
Yeah, I killed him.
Secret's
He's a
out.
ghost.
What can I say?
I put makeup on him to make him look like, a little bit, flesh-like. Yeah.
I
It
see.
works.
Yeah, not so transparent.
This is
No.
why you got to watch. You can't just listen. You got to watch and
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, if you're listening to this broadcast only, you
He's
are
no
missing
Casper.
out. Yeah. You need yourself some visuals. So make sure that you are plugged in, whether it's our YouTube channel, whether it's Facebook Live, or any number of streaming services. Because I mean, we're on everything, right? You know, Netflix carries us daily. I thought so. Don't fact check me on that one. But I also think audio wise, you know, if you're only listening, you're missing out on the transparent nature of terrifying Tyler Crouch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This month we just started on Shudder. You should go get a Shudder subscription, I guess.
Something you need to see.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, let's not waste any more time. So much Disneyland news to get into. I think it's Disneyland news time. Disneyland news time. Taking a look at all the Disneyland news coming out of the happiest place on Earth. The original Magic Kingdom, the Orange County Register, is reporting that zombies have attacked Disney California Adventure this Halloween. Yeah. I don't know if you heard, but they say scary and terrifying are not the Halloween hallmarks of the happiest place on Earth. Bloody and gory horror has long been the domain of Not Scary Farm, Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios Hollywood, and Fright Fest at Six Flags Magic Mountain. Disneyland and DCA have stuck with family-friendly, spooky, and creepy frights during the Halloween season until now. Cruella de Vil from the live-action Cruella, WandaVision, Witch, Agatha Harkness, and Toy Story antagonist Sid Phillips joined the rogue lineup of Disney, Marvel, and Pixar villains dotting the immersive treat trails this Halloween season during the Oogie Boogie Bash. The mid-event edition of Zombie Captain America introduced a scary and terrifying new villain into the mix. Zombie Cap looks absolutely perfect and absolutely terrifying, according to Cinema Blend, saying, quote, "This is pretty cool and honestly one of the scariest looking things Disney has ever shown off." Now, this, of course, ties into the What If series on Disney Plus, and definitely taking a look at whether or not these characters are going to be used more in the future, perhaps next Halloween. Pretty late in the season to bring in a new edition. I was super bummed that I didn't get to see this in person. I went to an Oogie Boogie Bash, weeks ago, and this wasn't available, but it just appeared. Perhaps taking it for a test run, Katrina, to see if more should be added next year.
I'm excited. I'm very bummed because we did it at the beginning, and I was super stoked about what they had, but then this came out, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And somehow, there's probably black market selling of the tickets or God knows what. And I was like, is there a way that I could buy a ticket and then go see it? But it's really cool. I'm excited that this is happening. There may be more zombies in the future for the next Halloween. If they've just brought Captain America out, they have to reuse him again.
He must.
They
must.
have to.
It
They
must
created
be
this
done.
costume. Do you know how long it takes for them to go through costuming and get everything approved? I'm sure something got held up somewhere, and
Yeah,
then they
but
finally put it out.
I do wonder if those Loki costumes are ever going to come back that were here for a week.
His
and then-
variant attires.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I guess
exactly.
so. But then if they just did this with Captain America, I feel like they could bring in different other kind of zombies for Halloween for next year.
That would be awesome. But like Wade said, unfortunately, they're doing it because of What If, I feel like. And so hopefully they come out with some other zombie, movie or show to watch so that we can enjoy them in the park. That would be awesome.
Maybe.
I want to see Zombie Wolverine, which will never happen.
Ooh.
But that would be
Maybe.
awesome. But they're not going to do that because of all the things that are going on with X-Men. Not anytime soon anyway, but
Maybe one day.
yeah, maybe one day.
One day. What if?
Yeah. What if?
What if?
That's
Yeah,
what I say.
yeah.
Yeah, the detail on this zombie cap is
Oh my
spectacular. You can run the video again. It is intense. This is and I think the Orange County Register story does it well in
The
saying
sound.
that this is not Disney ever in
Oh, no.
in Halloween history. This
Yeah.
is a new
It's
frontier.
spooky.
Yeah.
Well,
Man.
They do have a little bit of a warning on the Oogie Boogie Bash, tickets when you're getting your ticket and everything. They do say it's a little bit more intense than your normal Disney day. And when they moved over to California Adventure, I think they made that very clear that they were willing to get a little darker with it. And this is the darkest they've ever gotten, but I really
happening.
love it. I'm so excited. I was asking about the Marvel zombies months ago, so I'm glad that I can't believe it happened. I'm just really glad it happened. So
It's pretty
little,
awesome.
Little Katrina me would not be okay with this. I would run the other way. But me now, I'm this is really cool. Just to hear his sound of him, the grunting and
Yeah.
kind of thing and the movements and stuff. That's really neat.
It's
And
pretty
I
awesome.
was hoping that maybe there'll be more. Watch, they're gonna bring out another zombie next week. for
I mean,
Halloween Day. I'll be like, are you kidding?
The fact that they waited this long makes me wonder, like, okay, what, Halloween night, are they just going to go crazy? You know, like,
that's
are
what
they
I'm
just
like
gonna-
wondering. I'm like, watch, all Lokis are going to be out, and then there's going to be like an alligator Loki just running around, and I'm like, great.
Now that would be epic, having multiple Lokis out at the same time. I would love that. That would
How
be
cool would that be?
Yes, please.
yeah.
Yeah, Agatha was pretty fantastic to see also there in Avengers Campus, having her on board. And I really, and I know we've talked about this before, you know, Avengers Campus has become one of those places where they are really trying to maintain the modern level of what's happening now, keeping it as current as possible, reflecting everything that's happening in the universe, with the exception of the Thanos snap. So it looks like all of that is being pushed out into Avengers Campus as consistently as possible. That keeps it very interesting. You know, Katrina, I believe you said months ago, you know, this place was like clearly designed for annual pass holders because it's changing every week.
100%. I mean, it's like they really missed out, and now like the whole annual pass issue, like, I mean, just to even get a reservation is like a hard thing to get now. But I mean, that's the whole point.
Yeah.
And then like Star Wars, like, what happened? It's like, bleh. It's like, I wonder like if there was like some kind of competition in my brain of who created the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge and then who created Marvel, and they're sitting at the table being like, I'm not saying ours is more successful than yours, but I mean,
Far less to do, and yet still the better product.
yours might be a
perhaps?
little bit bigger, but I mean,
Yeah,
we
it's-
have more.
I'm pretty blown away by the fact that they continue to add on layers here, and
The
even
Eternals is going to be there soon.
Oh, I can't wait.
And I'm like really stoked for it. It's like everything is coming out and they just keep bringing new characters out. And then I'm really sad I didn't get to see Shang-Chi though. Because when we went by, we never saw him like walk through.
Oh, no?
No.
Is he just gone now at this point?
I saw
mean,
him
Eternals
last
is
week.
coming
Okay,
out.
yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
maybe they'll
I
keep
figured
him
he was
then.
still around.
I would
Yeah.
assume that they would like switch out and then bring in. Maybe there's like an extra show. Because everywhere you go in Avengers Campus, there's always something happening.
It's true. Yeah, I saw him up on the balcony, doing his wave.
How exciting.
Saying
His
hey.
wave.
Yeah.
Oh, how
His
exciting.
princess wave.
So-
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, is that what his
Like so.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay,
That's usually
cool.
how that goes.
Perfect.
Yeah, right.
Maybe this weekend we'll be lucky enough. Who knows?
Cross your fingers. That's right. Oh, Avengers Campus. Well, moving along here from zombies attacking and whether or not they will be in mass next year. Reservations for the sake of dining at the Disneyland Resort have become just as difficult to get, if not more, than, say, a park reservation for the Magic Key annual pass holders at this point. It's now common for anxious fans looking for restaurant reservations 60 days out to find virtually none available at Disneyland and California Adventure. The Orange County Register reports saying Disneyland accepts restaurant reservations for places like Blue Bayou, Oga's Cantina Plaza Inn, Cafe Orleans, Carnation Cafe, and Riverbell Terrace. Over at DCA, reservations are available for Carthay Circle, Lamplight Lounge, Magic Key Terrace, and Wine Country Trattoria. But if you don't move fast, you'll only be able to find reservations at one restaurant in the two theme parks, Riverbell Terrace. That's typically the one that we see the most. At the time of publication, there, right, October still has reservations available at Riverbell Terrace on about half the dates remaining in the month. There were no lunch or dinner reservations available at any other restaurants at either park in October. November and December were a little better, with lunch and dinner reservations available most days for Riverbell Terrace, typically the only restaurant at either park with availability. Eagle-eyed fans who regularly monitor the Disneyland Dining website can occasionally snag a single reservation when a cancellation occurs in November or December at Cafe Orleans, Lamplight Lounge, Magic Key Terrace, or Wine Country Trattoria, but that's rare, and they get snapped up quickly. Reservations for Carnation Cafe, Plaza Inn are even more rare to come by, and tables at Oga's Cantina, Blue Bayou, and Carthay Circle are like gold if you can find one. This continues to become an issue as what feels like even more people are being allowed into the park than ever before since Disneyland officially reopened earlier this year. We have covered it in recent weeks on Disney News Talk Live. If you've happened to tune into that broadcast, we've talked at length about the Magic Key reservation woes and how many of the locals that have the Magic Key annual pass program are not even able to book reservations. There was a moment here recently where Absolutely everything was booked out between a couple weeks ago and the end of the year. And then Disney flicked a switch. Suddenly everything became available again. And within just a couple of days, most weekends, if not all weekends by that point, were completely booked out the rest of the year, and most weekdays, depending on the key level. So things continue to change. Things are very fluid in this environment. Now comes the other problem, which is, if you are a day guest and you bought a ticket for that specific day, you're not even a Magic Key annual pass holder, now you can't even get the dining reservations that you want. Katrina, what's going on here?
Isn't that nuts?
It's nuts.
And there's parts of me where I've seen it in the past, like the last year or so, where when we would try to make reservations, they're abundant, but then there were some days where I'm just like, why isn't there any Carthay Circle reservations? Or when they had like the annual pass holder lounge, why didn't they have these lounges before? But then like maybe like a month before, all of a sudden you just go and check, and then they all dropped. And it could be because they don't really know what their hours are going to be, and then how many, like the staffing wise, and how they're going to do the restaurants and stuff, because it's been really tight on them already. So I'm sure they're wondering what it's going to be like for the next couple months, because it's going to be very busy.
Yeah.
Because of the holidays and stuff. So I'm imagining they're like, once they have a solid plan a month before, then they'll start opening it up and stuff. But man, even for us, I always try to at least make a reservation, because we're flexible, because we're able to get like at least a reservation. And then if we can't get a reservation that day for the park, I can just drop my dining reservation. But I can't find any until like the end of November.
Wow.
And I'm like, what? And then I guess I was like, well, I guess we're going to have beauty all the time, because that's tasty. But it's crazy. And I feel really bad for the one-time ticket people that go and visit. There's a couple people that I've been talking to where, they're used to 3 or 4 years ago going, where they're like, you're able to make a dining reservation 2 days before, and that's not a big deal. Yeah, maybe Blue Bayou was like always a stretch to try to get something.
Sure.
But you could still get something, like a walk up for dining or what have you. But even now I'm telling them, they're like, oh, we're going to go visit next month. And I'm like, you have dining, right? And they're like, no, we're just going to I was like, whoa, you should probably put your name in and at least grab something. If you don't know what you want, grab it. Because in 2 minutes it's going to be gone, and then you won't know. And then maybe a couple weeks before, just keep checking, and you can always just fluctuate your time or whatnot. But I feel bad, because you always have, it's, for us, we all know, because we go all the time. But for the people that go 3 years ago and now they're coming back to go visit for the holidays, like they don't know. And you need to book dining like ASAP and just grab it.
Mix in with this, Tyler, also the fact that mobile ordering from even like quick service restaurants, now Disney has gone this hard push across the board, Disney World to Disneyland, mobile order or die. And it's gotten to the point now where there might only be one register available at a very busy quick service location. Yeah, and you're going to be waiting 45 minutes to even place your order if you're not consistently doing mobile ordering. And sometimes even that is booked out hours in advance on especially busy days. We've seen it here in the last couple months. Dining is getting more tougher by the day.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy. And I mentioned like a few weeks ago that I helped my neighbor like make a trip and everything, and just like helping her through the hoops and hurdles of everything that she had to do, and then saying on top of that, like, well, it's probably too late to get any dining, because she did it like less than a week in advance. It was like, well, there's nothing you can really do. I mean, I just would tell her, like, just show up to one of the downtown Disney restaurants and get there a little bit early and then pray, because that's kind of all you can do. But I think a large part of the problem too is just that, like, because nobody really knows exactly when they're going to be able to go because of all the like park reservations and everything, people just grab any dining reservation they can find. So they're like, if something pops up, just there it is, grab it, because maybe we can go, maybe not. And then they have that 24-hour window where they can cancel. So it's like, it's better at this point, because everything is so scarce, to just like grab everything you can, even if you don't even think you're going to be able to make it. Yeah. But if it's a possibility,
sounds bad.
Yeah.
But you kind of have to.
It's time to squat.
I mean, you kind of have to grab them and then drop them later, and then just check the day of. I mean, even Carthay Circle, and there's like a couple dining where you can just like Lamplight Lounge, you can like do like the walk-ups, but even then they're never open.
Right.
Like last week we tried multiple times to even get it, and then somehow by chance you got something for Carthay for a walk up, and I'm like,
Yeah. Well, so I tried.
didn't even see it.
I tried so sometimes if you try 3 people or 1 person, things can open up. I don't want to say go do that, but so this
Seems to
past
work.
week, I mean, I was standing next to a cast member while I did it this past week, and I was like, oh, there's a reservation for 1. Can I do that? And they're like, oh yeah, I'll go. It's okay. Go ahead. So I put it in for 1, and then he changed it to 2. And if you just are nice to cast members, a lot of times they'll help you out. But not saying you should go do that necessarily all the time. But it works. I don't know.
See, seems to do the trick. Yeah, but it's definitely gotten more difficult over the course of time. And, the continuing advice that I give to people is most of the time, and it's a gamble, it always is, but most of the time, the day before your trip, the day before the day you'd like to book a reservation, if you search the Disneyland app, if you search the reservation portal, most of the time you will find at least one opportunity that pops up that people are dumping, because as a reminder, oftentimes if you are booking a dining reservation at the Disneyland Resort, you are also tethering a credit card charge to that if you don't show up. So people dump their various reservations the night before. I think they have up until 11:59 or something like that, right? It's the night before. So a lot of people will dump it day of, and you won't see maybe something until that very point. So you gotta be aggressive about it and trying to find one. But I've had the best success in doing that.
Yeah, I literally before I go to bed, I'm with my phone like this, checking for dining reservations before I go to sleep, being like, maybe, you never know.
A true warrior.
I feel like we
never
need
heard
more restaurants too. Is it just me? I'm at the point where I'm people are obviously screaming for restaurants. Let's build more.
Yeah.
Disney Springs.
Yeah, let's do it.
Springs.
Why not? Let's go. Let's go all
Can you
out.
imagine all those dinings over at downtown Disney? I would die. I would be so excited for Raglan Road.
And there are several in downtown Disney here that never seem to really be booked out. That should say something to you, restaurants. There are some that are always, but there are several that always have openings available. Again, that should say something to you. But in a place where dining reservations are so hard to get, definitely bringing on some additional dining would be fantastic. And it's long overdue. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
So. Well, we move along from dining to ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas. So that's right. Our friends over at Disneyland Entertainment are gearing up for the first day parade they have had since the reopening of the Disneyland Resort theme parks. And that is a Christmas fantasy parade finally coming back to us starting on November the 12th for the kickoff of Disney's merriest season of all. The parade will perform at 3 p.m. and 5:30 p.m., and that is something that traditionally has happened throughout the years. Usually it's 3 p.m., 6 p.m., somewhere in there. So there's always been the 2 parade times a day. Very excited to see that a day parade has finally been announced and is returning to the streets of, Disneyland, Main Street, Main Street, USA, and on into It's a Small World and the Fantasyland area. Pumped to see that this is coming back to us. And Katrina, you are a Christmas crazed mother effer.
What? Am I? Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for this. And you don't have to pay $160 for a special event for Christmas that is only 5 times for the whole season. I mean,
Get him. You and your shade.
Exciting to see prancing reindeer, prancing snowmen, Santa Claus, everything's back. I am so excited.
So jacked up.
I am so excited. I just can't. I'm hoping, hopefully we'll go see it a couple times. We'll see.
I'm sure we will.
A couple times.
Just a few.
And who knows if it might get reduced down a little bit, or perhaps might be otherwise
I feel like it
slimmed
might get
down.
smaller. Yeah.
It is the biggest parade that they do.
Probably one on a
in
diet,
the year.
but
yeah.
it's okay.
So I'm not necessarily bummed out by the thought of it being a tad shorter, just because I feel like it goes on for an hour and a half. Every time that they run it. Coming from somebody that worked at the resort for many years, every time you could hear that parade running, you were like, "Oh God, I can't get across the park for the next hour. There's no way. It's impossible." But we are so happy that the parades are returning and that Christmas time is on its way. We understand that snow is already appearing on Sleeping Beauty Castle
So excited.
at Disneyland.
Wow.
Check out our Disneyland in-park update later this week, and you will see it firsthand. We also asked in our live chat right now. What do you think of the zombie Marvel? Combine those
there we
words,
go.
huh? The zombie Marvel heroes. Whether you want more or say forget it. 79% of our audience at this moment says plenty more. Plenty more. 21% of you saying forget it. Well, it looks like the mores have it.
Yay.
And perhaps we will see more happen next year during the Halloween season over at Avengers Campus. Make sure that you leave a comment underneath this very video to let us know if you are somebody that is pumped to see zombies wreaking havoc all over California Adventure next Halloween, or if you're somebody that's having trouble getting a dining reservation. We want to hear that too. What specifically are you having trouble getting? Share that with us. We are always interested in your perspective. And if you haven't hit that thumbs up button, make sure you do so. Let everybody know there's a party going on up in this video, and they need to be a part of it. Thumbs up time. Thank you very much. Walt Disney World News, straight ahead.
Do you know everything the ghost host is going to say before he says it? Are you ready to thank the Venetians each time you board Spaceship Earth? Can you recite Walt's opening day dedication speech? Then join the Kingdom team today, the influential legacy fan community featuring exclusive merchandise that will alert all who've come to this happy place that you are more than just another guest. You are a trusted theme park fan. Don't miss out. Join the Kingdom team right now by visiting the homepage at kingdomreportlive.com. That's kingdomreportlive.com. And now, back to the magic.
Walt Disney World news time. All of the headlines coming out of the East Coast Disney theme parks. Orlando is hopping, so much happening out there. And to bring us all of the news, all of the headlines from his Disney bunker, it's our own Florida reporter Garrett Hassel. Hey there, Mountain Man.
This is the way.
Oh,
Wow, look at this
Yeah.
guy.
I don't know. Is that Garrett? Is that even?
Mando? Is that you?
I think it is.
Right, right.
That's a,
Oh!
Yeah.
there he is.
Wait, you just
Yeah,
broke
you
the
know,
rule.
just-
You're not supposed to take that off.
Well, I'm not a true Mandalorian.
Okay, fair, fair.
You know, it's kind of like in season 2, episode 1. You know, kind of find a borrowed helmet. You just gotta wear it. I'm just trying to make sure it works. You know, thermal regulating and targeting and all that stuff. And then this guy showed up, so
Oh.
you know, I'm just doing the best I can. It's a Star Wars eat Star Wars world out here. A lot of
Grogu.
roaming around.
That's our baby. Well, it's great that you could join us, especially a couple days removed from the new Genie Plus launch at Walt Disney World. It sounds
Yeah.
like they're already making changes.
Yeah, Genie Plus has been magical to say the least. But there are some changes going on. So for those that do not know, Disney Genie Plus is available on the My Disney Experience app. And when you open it up, it allows you to essentially buy a ticket to go into the old Fast Pass Plus line. So say, for example, you really were like, man, I really want to go on Rise of the Resistance. Instead of doing the boarding groups now, you can now go onto the app and say, I want to go on it at this time, and you pay X amount of dollars. And each attraction is a different cost depending on how premium it is. So, for example, Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, Rise of the Resistance, those might be $15 per person, and then you go for a set time. So it's definitely going to have a little bit of a cash effect on it. But what's been happening in the past few days is that when it opened up, guests at the resort, they get first come pick at 7 a.m. And then once the parks actually open up around 8 or 9, that's when all the non-resort guests can make their selection. So the resort guests would make a selection, and all the early time slots would be gone. But then come 8 or 9 o'clock, those time slots would be available for everyone to get. And so this caused a lot of concern, especially for resort guests who are paying, sometimes hundreds, if not thousands of dollars to enjoy their Walt Disney World vacation. And so Disney then changed it to where, 3 days after it started, these passes, the early times were available for everyone. So Disney Genie Plus has been having a little bit, some confusion, some issues in the early days. So hopefully as time goes by, they will get this fixed up. But if you're going out there, just know Disney Resort guests, they get first come, first serve when it comes to Genie Plus, but it's not free. You do have to have some money. You will have to pay out some. So if you have a family of 8 and you really want to go on Jungle Cruise and it's $7 per person, that's $56 just to go on that one attraction. So watch videos on Genie Plus. It can be very confusing, just like my Disney experience altogether, especially with the new pass reservation system. It's just getting more and more complex to go and enjoy Walt Disney World. So do your research beforehand, so that way you do not have issues and get all confused and then have to take a nap like little Grogu here. You want to study enough in advance so that way you can fully enjoy it. But yeah, Genie Plus, I'm not sure how I feel about it. I haven't gotten to partake in it mainly because I'm broke. But when the day does come, I will be sure to give full reviews on it. I do miss Fast Pass Plus where, be like, oh, I'm going to do this, this, and this. Now it's like, all right, I'm going to wait in line for 3 hours. Let's do this.
It's definitely something that's changing rapidly, and you're right. It's a new frontier when it comes to the Disney theme park experience. We saw it get introduced over in Paris and abroad first, and now we have a version of that here. One thing that I would like to point out, Tyler, is that this thing, or at least the equivalent of it over in Paris, I don't know if people just weren't buying it or what, but they dropped the pricing eventually, and I'm wondering if that's because people were like, you used to give this to us for free at one point, or we're not gonna buy into this, are you kidding me? So yeah, it's a whole new world.
Yeah, I mean, I can see in Disneyland Paris, at least when I went, it wasn't that crowded, so maybe that's part of the issue, because maybe just it's like, well, why am I going to pay to do this lightning lane thing when the line isn't even... I mean, I don't know what the waits are like, but maybe that's part of it. But yeah, with this pricing now, I mean, I don't know. Is it weird that I don't think it's like too horrible? But like, I don't know. I guess for me, I would rather go to like Universal Orlando and just like pay a flat fee, and even though it's more money, there's like none of this confusion of like digging through the app all day and like, having to figure out, okay, now where do we have to go next? And like, I don't want it to plan for me like that necessarily. I mean, I don't know. That's just me, but I kind of wish it was just like simpler. That's really all
there's a lot to it.
Yeah. That's kind of all I care about is just make it more simple. 'Cause it just seems so like even Max Pass was like easier than to like figure out, I feel like, but
because it was like
Max Pass
one
was
size
awesome.
fits all. Like you just show up and you can get whatever ride, whatever was available. Not like this where you have to pay for Genie Plus to get certain rides, but then you have to pay extra for these other rides, and then you have to make sure these times don't overlap. And then by the time you're able to get the ride for Rise of Resistance, it's like within the first 2 hours, it's gone. So it's just, and then for like a family of 4, that's a lot of money. Like, I mean, I can understand for like once in a lifetime, hey, let's just do this, but this is not going to work for annual pass. Like, I can't imagine us paying $15 a pop to go ride Rise of the Resistance without waiting in a line. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't seem beneficial to us. But I can understand a family that, I mean, to go to Disney World, you have to plan this huge trip years in advance, a year in advance. You save your money, you stay at the resort, and a lot of people can like only stay at really like Pop Century, Art of Animation and stuff for like a family of 4 or 5 if you're not, unless you're like super rich, and then you're able to stay wherever. But I mean, on top of now you have to pay for like the Genie Plus, then you have to pay for Lightning Lane, and you only are able to spend like 5 days there. So you're like, okay, you guys, let's go do Rise of the Resistance and Ratatouille, and Ratatouille is like $9 a pop, and then you get off the ride and like you're wondering like, was that $9 worth per person to go on Ratatouille? Maybe Rise of the Resistance is worth $15 for these people without waiting. Time is money. So if you're waiting an hour, it's like $15 an hour, sure. But it's just it's a hard thing to swallow for a big family. And then on top of that too, as like a travel agent's perspective, is a lot of travel agents are nervous, like because they don't know how to sell anymore, because they used to be, you're not really allowed to, you're not supposed to, but we did anyway, like to book fast passes for our clients. We would wake up early, we would plan out the plan A, plan B, and plan C, and we would try to grab these fast passes for everybody to make their vacation seamless. And now you can't, because they have to have it on their phone. We can't just be like, I'm gonna log in for you right now while you're at the park and then try to get these for you, because it's not worth it, because you don't know what it's going to be like over there. So you just need to let them know, depending on how busy it is, and you can kind of guide them what you should probably do, and like, you know, say like plan A, plan B, plan C, but it's up to them to do it. And if they decide not to, then that's them ruining the vacation, but they're going to blame it on you.
We're also getting initial reports, too, that standby wait times are being inflated now.
Yeah.
For the sake of making you feel like, you know, there's really only one option, and that is
Pay
to
for
buy Lightning Lane. You know, that is to buy this Genie Plus service and to go that other route so that we don't have to wait 90 minutes when, in all actuality, it might be 30. So again, we're hearing that, and I know Disney has even acknowledged, like, oh, don't trust our standby wait times to base your purchase off
such a
of.
joke.
That's impossible. You know, it's been a science up until 4 days ago.
Yeah.
The standby wait times has been pretty darn accurate for the most part, right? And now, don't trust that? That seems strange to me.
Thanks a lot,
Yeah,
Chapek.
What's the
Yeah,
whole
I
point
saw
of the
it.
whole Genie system if it doesn't work?
Yeah.
Like, you're literally saying, like, this new thing we just built isn't actually accurate.
It does if you buy it.
Let this thing plan your day, but it doesn't have accurate info. Sorry.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
It
Go
just
ahead,
seems
Gary.
so silly.
I saw a tweet where it's like, man, I'm going to spend $7 to go to the front of the line on Expedition Everest, and there's only a 10-minute wait. That sounds like a great deal. I feel like some attractions should not have it. Like, if it's, you know, like, I don't know, Mickey or, you know, Dumbo, and it's a 5-minute wait, be like, oh, $10? 5-minute wait. Let's do the $10. Like, no. I feel like not every attraction needs this, you know, aspect to it. Maybe the big e-ticket ones, maybe a few A tickets, but, you know, you don't need the Barnstormer for a lightning.
Well, that's
lane.
included if
That
you
seems-
do the Genie Plus. So
Yeah,
that's
that's what
like
they're
a
doing.
flat
Yeah.
fee. It's like Max Pass. And then
Yeah.
there's like a few handful e-ticket rides where you're going to be able
Yeah.
to pay extra for those each individual rides. But like,
Yeah, but I saw
it's silly.
for Remy's Ratatouille had like, they're like, oh, 30-minute wait, and the person walked on and timed on their phone and said 3 minutes 38 seconds to get to the front of the line. I'm like, man, that
Wow.
like, you can't inflate it by, you know, 10 times what it actually is. That's insane.
No doubt we're going to be hearing a lot more of those stories in the near future. But moving along, I understand that the character meet and greets that we've come to know are about to change.
Yes, something near and dear to my heart. Entertainment is coming back in a certain degree, and that is a new form of character meet and greets are coming in November. As we know, during the pandemic, Disney pulled a lot of their character interactions unless they were very socially distanced, such as Mickey and the gang from the top of the train station. But now they're going to have specific distance meet and greets, such as Cinderella and Elena of Avalor at Princess Fairytale Hall. Mickey Mouse going back to Town Square Theater. We haven't seen that in a hot second. That was always a fan favorite where he would do magic and interact with you. Now, gotta be a little distance, but still, you get that one-on-one time rather than 1-on-50 time where the character's trying to interact with a giant crowd. And you got Rapunzel and Tiana back at Fairytale Hall. Epcot, nothing there, but Epcot does have some social distance thing where you can see Winnie the Pooh off in the distance, and you see some cavalcades going through. Hollywood Studios, you got Minnie Mouse at her old location, Red Carpet Dreams, and the Disney Junior Palace at the Animation Courtyard. Going to be nice that that's outside, especially now that the weather is, cooling down out there. But for Animal Kingdom, they will continue doing those boat cavalcades, and then certain areas where you can wave at them. But I imagine this is just the start of what's going to be coming in the future. I hope that they bring back more and more and more. I could imagine, maybe a socially distanced one with Gaston in front of his tap, because that is such an iconic meet and greet spot. Or even Princess Fairytale Hall is very similar to Pete's Silly Sideshow, where you would have Goofy, Donald, Daisy, and Minnie over there. So I could see that coming back in the future as well. There's so many entertainment interactions that you can do. You just have to find the right location. Hollywood Studios is a little bit hard to work with that, but I'm looking forward to this, especially coming from working in entertainment. The characters add an element and an energy to the entire park. So I hope that these come back and that we can eventually one day get rid of the cavalcades, put in actual parades, and have entertainment like it used to be. Like the day the castle show comes back with, Mickey's Royal Friendship Fair, I'm pretty sure the sky's going to open up and gold's going to rain down, because that will mean things are finally back to normal. But until then, I'll take these distant meet and greets, especially make it Town Square Theater. That sounds magical. I wouldn't be surprised if Tinkerbell comes back eventually as well.
Yep, she's got her space too, and I know that the Magic Kingdom Welcome Show returned for the kickoff of the 50th anniversary at Magic Kingdom, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, really nice to see that we're taking these baby steps in the direction of getting things back to normal, and finally starting to see these characters in their more themed environments. Hopefully, we'll see that out on the West Coast too. The equivalent of the Princess Fairy Tale Hall out here on the West Coast is the Royal Hall, and it's a little bit more enclosed than say the Princess Fairy Tale Hall.
It's very cramped out there on the West Coast.
It is. Yeah, a little landlocked around here. So great to see that the characters are making their way back into their themed environments. And one problem that we've had out here on the West Coast recently is dining reservations. However, Walt Disney World tends to have an abundance of dining on hand at any given time. And we understand that more is being added to that list.
Yes, that is indeed true. Very soon, the Walt Disney World Swan and Dolphin Resort is going to be adding 4 new restaurants. If you did not know, Swan and Dolphin is going to be adding a new tower called the Swan Reserve, and over there, they're going to have 4 new restaurants. You're going to have a full-service signature restaurant called Amare, which is a Mediterranean-themed one. You're going to have a poolside bar and a grill called Tangerine, a grab-and-go option called Grounds, and a lobby lounge called Stir. And they all sound very, they sound special. And of course, it's a brand new toy on, the Disney campus. So we can expect to see some great new menu items. At Amare especially, it's going to be focused on fresh premium ingredients popular in the Mediterranean and include a wide variety of seafood, citrus, olive oils, pasta, and pitas. It's going to have wine selection from the Mediterranean. So you're not going to be seeing like, oh, snap, we got barefoot wine up in here. No, you're going to actually be seeing stuff actually from Italy.
Authenticity.
We got the box wine. Like, no, we're not doing that. But some Amare especially sounds incredible because you're going to have some grilled mahi, you're going to have some Tuscan kale dumplings filled with barat spiced lamb and a Greek yogurt cheesecake. So I'm going to have to do that. I've got some Greek family members, and the Greeks know how to party. So we'll be doing that. And then, the poolside place Tangerine sounds good. Getting a quick bite to eat at Grounds. And then the lobby lounges, they've just become sort of reminiscent of the past when people would travel, and like the lobby lounge was the place where you had the piano player and you'd have the band. So Stir sounds very exciting, especially because it's got some cured meats from Spain and Italia. So Katrina, head on over there. Let us know if it's authentic or not.
Okay.
Go ahead and gauge it for all of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're our Italian representative, so you have to let us know.
True.
Our ambassador.
I am very picky when it comes to like salami and cured meats.
I can't imagine. No.
No charcuterie board is safe when she's around.
No, you are correct, sir.
Unless it's gross, and then I'm like,
if there's blue cheese, it's totally safe.
Yeah. So if cured meat touch blue cheese, have at it, because I will not touch it.
That's it. Awesome to see even more restaurants joining this area between the Epcot International Gateway and the entrance to Disney's Hollywood Studios. That's where this hotel sits and where these properties align. Very cool, because I know that this location for a number of years, if you've ever stepped outside the back entrance of Epcot, even if you're in World Showcase, you can see them. You can see the Swan and the Dolphin, this new reserve property sitting smack dab in the middle of all of that. Very exciting to know that they're bringing some additional options on board, especially for anybody that's looking to skip out of Hollywood Studios because of their real lack of dining overall, and walking on over. There's a nice little walk that you can take on over to the Swan Reserve location.
I love that walkway. Yeah, and then Swan and Dolphin, they do a pretty good food and wine festival of their own, and so they put that on, and so it's nice to see that they're actually like bringing in like even more dining to Swan Reserve, because we were unfortunately not able to go because it wasn't open yet when we went to go visit, because I was curious to like walk in. But I mean, they have like a whole upstairs area that's gonna have like a great view of all over Disney World, which is amazing, and I feel like it's gonna give Grand Destino a run for their money that they have, like the view that they have. Yeah. It's phenomenal. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, we actually had a friend that was supposed to stay there on this past trip, and then she got bumped. Like, they actually called her up and they were like, "Yeah, you're gonna have to stay at the Swan now because we're not ready yet over here at the reserve." So yeah, so they gave them like a really big room because they had a nicer room over at the reserve. But anyway, just sad to hear that it's not quite ready yet, but I'm excited for these restaurants.
On its way.
Yeah.
Lots of edible fun. And we thank you for the headlines, Garrett. We wanted to touch on the fact that we put out a poll here, our Insta poll, as I'm calling it now. Our Insta poll, Mondo. Our Insta poll asked, is Genie Plus something you will purchase when visiting Walt Disney World? And our audience responded, saying 60% worth will purchase Genie Plus at Walt Disney World, 40% saying, very interesting to say the least, and even more interesting, what will be even more interesting, rather, will be to see how people feel after having used it, whether or not there was true value in what they spent. At any rate, leave us a comment in this very video's comment section to let us know if you plan on buying the Genie Plus service, or if you have already and been out to Walt Disney World. We would love to know if it's worth the price. Let us keep the fun rolling, shall we? I believe it is time for the Disney List. Disney List time. Talking about some of the best and not so great things at the Disney theme parks from coast to coast. Today, we are focusing on Walt Disney World's 50th anniversary celebration. Tyler Crouch, Katrina Manzoni, Garrett Hassel have all been there for the 50th anniversary celebration and kickoff, and we are looking to them today to share maybe something they enjoyed and maybe something that didn't necessarily have high marks in their eyes. We will start with Mr. Walt Disney World himself, Garrett Hassel, standing by for us. Sir, something you enjoyed of the 50th and maybe something that just didn't hit right?
For me, the thing that probably literally lit up my entire time out there and, getting to experience the 50th has to be Spaceship Earth becoming a beacon of magic. That thing is absolutely incredible. And it may be like, oh, it's just some simple lights on, Spaceship Earth. No, but it's so much more than that. Like, they have two little curated shows with that, and then the lights around there, it brings that whole entranceway to life. And you can see this thing from all across property. I went to the JW Marriott on property, and you can see this thing, and this is, easily over a mile and a half away from where this location is. So seeing that transform and seeing this most iconic of icons, I suppose, come to life just simply astounded me. And they did such a great job. It danced with the lights, it blinks, it changes colors, and when it hits, like, I don't know, it brings the night to life, and it really is spectacular. And if you're watching Harmonious, it actually dances along with Harmonious. There are key moments in the show where Spaceship Earth is going off at the same time Harmonious is shooting up fireworks and lights and all that. So that is something that truly shocked me, and I was like, man, this is what they need compared to projections on the castle or on a Hollywood Tower Hotel. This just is one way, because this is probably going to be a permanent fixture, and I cannot wait to see if they do more dances with it in the future, because I think this is a great focal point and centerpiece and should be utilized more and more and more, because, well, you spend a lot of time putting those lights on, you might as well utilize them.
Might as well. And tell me, Tyler Crouch, a positive and a negative for you from the 50th anniversary of our fair East Coast property.
Okay. So actually, a lot like Garrett, my positive is it's not just the Spaceship Earth beacon, though. It's all of the beacons at the different parks. You've got the castle, of course, and the tree.
A beacon that beckons?
Yes, a beacon that beckons. Exactly, yeah. So for anybody that doesn't know, once dark hits, all these different, beacons of the park just start lighting up. And there's like this little kind of short, I don't know, a couple minute show that happens where they do like projections. And so that's kind of, to me, where most of the excitement kind of laid. That's where it was all chilling.
Elated.
That's where all the excitement was hanging out for me.
Out
so
to tan.
There we go. Oh, all right.
So I really enjoyed the beacons, and I'm kind of with Garrett, where I feel like Spaceship Earth was probably the coolest one. But like even over like at Tower of Terror, you could see like the Tip Top Club on the very top of the building, and so I thought that was really neat for anybody that knows that Tower of Terror lore. And I don't know, that was a really cool touch that they did in all the different parks. That was a lot of fun. Now my negative, though, that's kind of like the standout thing. But I guess for me, it's kind of sad that that's the standout thing.
Yeah.
like it's like there feels like a genuine lack of excitement at the parks for what we saw anyway. We were only there, like, we were there before the actual day on October 1st, but we were there, you know, till the 3rd, so we got to see a little bit of that action, but it just felt more crowded. Felt like a crowded day, but you know,
Maybe
besides
some banners.
Yeah,
But
they're not even any
really.
banners.
Yeah.
You know, not
Wow.
even really many banners. Like, there's a couple here and there, but like even like at Magic Kingdom, it just felt like Halloween.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, like, I mean, they put up like these new Cinderella like pumpkins on the
Super
like
cute.
on the streetlights.
Mhm.
But besides that, it was like, but they were pumpkins, so it still felt like they were trying to not disrupt the Halloween decor, you know. So I just didn't really feel any, you know, huge excitement. And one thing I was trying to say on the show that we kept having technical difficulties on was like, it just feels like there's a problem where everything is just so spread out that it's hard to make anything feel
Yeah.
like, I mean, like it's everywhere. I mean, they do it well with Christmas, I feel like, but other than that, you know, if you're going to, like, when they had the 60th at Disneyland, everything was so close together that like you could not escape it. And they had banners everywhere, and they had the merchandise like everywhere. And just here at Disney World, it's like you don't see merchandise everywhere. You don't see banners and decorations and things everywhere. It's like literally the beacons and the golden statues. So, you know, that's kind of the biggest bummer, is I feel like probably COVID really affected this celebration a lot, I would expect, because I think that if we didn't have COVID, I think they would have been in a much better place. We would have had brand new rides. You know, we would have had probably a lot more merchandise, probably a lot more
Shows.
entertainment, shows. Yeah, exactly. So, you know, it's like, I think a lot of these things had to take a step back, unfortunately. So I'm not even totally blaming Disney for it, because obviously a lot of heinous things have been going on, but it's not the most exciting feeling thing. It's still nice to be there. Still, I had a great time. But
Would you say it's the world's most magical celebration? Because when I look at it, I think Disneyland did better with its 50th and 60th than Disney World has, and Disney World's the most popular tourist destination in the world.
Right. Well, that's the thing, right? Is they don't have to work as hard at that sort of thing as Disneyland does, because Disneyland has to impress the people that keep on coming back. They have to get return customers, whereas Disney World has enough new customers, I feel like, that, or just even people who are just like, oh no, we do our once a year trip and that's that. Like there's, you know, nothing's going to change our mind about that. So,
Interesting.
yeah.
Yeah, I know it's something that over the course of the last few weeks over on the Disney News Talk live show, which, by the way, if you ever see it, drop on in. It's all about you and your perspective. If you're listening or watching us, it really does allow you and your opinions to take center stage, all of your experiences. That's what the show's all about. And we've been talking in recent weeks about whether or not the 50th anniversary, even marketing and PR campaign, is motivating people to want to go to Disney World right now. And the majority of people that were at least in our program, as we were talking about it, all shared pretty much the same thing, and that is no. Not really feeling motivated, not really feeling pushed. You know, I'll go out there maybe when more attractions open that are set to open, but as of right now, I don't necessarily feel all that, you know, there's no fire underneath me to go, yeah, I got to be there. Yeah, I got to see it. Which for something as big as this should have been, you know, to feel that nostalgic punch especially, I just, you know, I have not seen anything from the Disney PR machine, which we know what it can do. We've seen it before, and we've seen it with Disneyland on multiple occasions. They just don't touch on the nostalgia of Walt Disney World the way that they do Disneyland, and it's a real shame, because of all anniversaries, this was one to knock it out of the park on when it came to nostalgia, and I don't really see anything relating to that, Katrina.
Oh my gosh, don't even get me started on nostalgia. Poor Happily Ever After is gone.
No tears.
Oh, Jordan, could even a better
But I
place.
shall move past this. It'll come back. I just know it. It won't. But you know, again, like what you're saying though, with like the PR stuff, I feel like even with Disneyland, I still remember them like pimping out the 60th and stuff all over, everywhere, magazines, ads, everywhere on Facebook, anything. And here it's like, I mean, I follow a lot of Disney stuff. Don't get me wrong. So I feel like Disney should be targeting towards me for sponsored ads. I have not seen any about the 50th. Zero. Nothing. So it's
Sad.
shocking.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just really sad. But like, like the good thing that I actually liked was they added the statues, which are cute. They're little photo ops. I like the little Abu that's hidden in Adventureland. And then you see like Stitch over on the wall by like, the famous purple wall. And then, like there's some that catch you off guard because you're not really like sure where they're going to be and they just like pop up. And that's like the nicest thing that I could say because there's really like, even like the nighttime shows I didn't get to watch Harmonious though. We had a lot of stuff going on, but it was just, sad. And then the thing that really bummed me out the most and Disney's pretty good about it. It's merchandise.
Yeah.
And that's the most depressing thing was the 50th anniversary. They just lumped it into Magic Kingdom. They didn't even make special merchandise for all other parks to make people spread out and go buy the merchandise. They ruined themselves on this because Garrett's showing those like little 50th like soap dispenser.
Oh yeah.
But it's just
That's
like
a highlight.
they made it such a horrible thing because it was just that's what they wanted, right? It was like the hype, the lines for Magic Kingdom, but it was just a joke because it was like a huge line just to get a magic band, huge line to get a shirt and a coffee cup. There was fights going on inside the store. Cast members didn't deserve this. They ruined the cast members. Like it was inappropriate for them to do it just over at Magic Kingdom. They should have done it at Epcot. They should have made a huge announcement saying, these are the merchandise items. Yeah. These are going to be spread out through all 4 parks. Use your best judgment and go to the park because they're all going to be there. No, it was all in Magic Kingdom. And then maybe I think a couple days later it sprinkled in at Creations and Epcot. And even then it was just like the leftovers. And then they kind of hid it into the side section. And then people like shouted out like on Twitter. And then everybody showed up at Epcot to try to buy it because they couldn't get it the day before. And that was like the only thing that really irritated me was, yeah, it would have been nice to get, like a t-shirt that said 50th anniversary. I was here on that day like we did over at the 60th because the 60th, they had it planned. Yeah. They had it at DCA. They had it at Disneyland. They had like 5 different shops at each park that sold those shirts with like the dwarves on it. And yeah, they sold out pretty fast, but they still had a lot and like huge lines and they had them spread out. But if they even created like to make people go to each park and go buy stuff like the beacons, put them on a t-shirt saying I was here on that day and then have something for Epcot, Magic Kingdom and like Animal Kingdom. It would have been a lot better. And it was like a nightmare just to even like look at the videos going to Magic Kingdom. And we had a brunch reservation over at the Contemporary and they were like, yeah, you can't park here. You need to go park over at TTC. And I laughed. I was like, yeah, right. No, we're not doing that. We're going to do valet. And then I kept pushing and then they let us go. Cause I was like they weren't even ready for this. Yeah, it was just clearly. like they got some kind of memo being like, did you know tomorrow's the 50th anniversary? That's like what it kind of seemed like. It was a cluster.
They had more merchandise on actual October 1st than they did. I think they do for everything else. Like they had a special it's the 50th anniversary, October 1st, 2021, October 1st, 1971. They had a ton of that, but it seems like they don't have anything.
But it was
like
only
this.
at Magic Kingdom, though.
Yeah,
and that was the worst part is you had to show up at like 6 a.m., deal with this huge crowd, deal with this huge line, and then it's like a bloodbath just to even get on because they had a line, but they also had like the QR code to get into the virtual queue to get in the line. Yeah. So if you didn't get there, you didn't get any merchandise unless you bought it off of eBay.
Disneyland is separated by like 300 feet. That's so it separates DCA and Disneyland. But Disney World, like you've got something the size of San Francisco. So I'm wondering, in 10 years, are we going to have the 50th anniversary of Epcot? And it's the 60th anniversary of MK. Are they going to do that? Because it's so
they did it already for Epcot. They did it for the 30th.
They did it for Animal Kingdom.
They did it for Animal Kingdom. They did it for Epcot. But they should have spread it out everywhere, not just Magic Kingdom. Like I get Magic Kingdom was the first to open, but they should have thought.
But they're really they're really saying this is like it is Magic Kingdom's anniversary, but they're really also mostly saying like Disney World as a whole. So yeah, it just felt like it should have been more spread out.
Honestly, they should have put Roy and Walt on a t-shirt and put 50th.
How easy with this a bit? Yeah.
They needed to celebrate them because
They
I
could've
mean
done
Roy's the
a
one that
castle
finished it
show.
off. Walt dreamt it.
They should have put
And
Roy
they
on some
should-
merchandise. What the heck are they doing?
Come on,
Where's
like he
the
just got
Walt
scooped
Disney
to the
World
side.
Forever fireworks? They had the Disneyland Forever with Judi Dench, and you had Walt talking in there, but there's no Roy celebrated. You just got his little statue with Minnie, and then he's
All
left
right,
to
we're making it.
obscurity.
It was Julie Andrews, not Judy.
Yeah.
No, well, they could have used Judi Dench as well.
I don't think Judy.
She's a posh British woman.
She's a dame.
She is a
And
dame.
they didn't even like put anything Mary Poppins with the statues, which
pretty,
is
pretty
shocking.
wild, yeah.
Because like it's Julie Andrews, like at least put a penguin. At least do something to represent.
A
'Cause, I mean,
chimney
she
sweep?
was a
Anything.
an umbrella.
Tuppences? No.
Compenses.
A tuppences? Yes.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that the Walt Disney World 50th anniversary kind of fell flat, especially on launch. And, we continue to hear that from both viewers and listeners alike. And certainly with a few of the highlights here also come, unfortunately, it sounds like a majority of thoughts that just don't make this a must-do destination for a
makes me
celebration
sad,
that should
though.
have been over the top, should have been spectacular. And I understand, too, the pandemic did take a big old crap on things and made especially entertainment that I'm sure would have been a part of this definitely taking a back seat, and perhaps we might never see it. Who knows? But at any rate, let us know in the comment section if you are somebody looking forward to a trip to see Walt Disney World's 50th anniversary, if there's anything that you're amped up about, or if you've been, what did you like? What didn't you like? That's also very important. You stick around. More Kingdom Report live for you next.
Looking for some digital magic to help you through your week? The Kingdom Report is here for you, covering the latest Disneyland and Disney World news, experiences, and events. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Kingdom Report Live so you never miss an update. And drop a subscribe on the Kingdom Report YouTube channel for new videos every week. Don't miss out. Join this growing community of theme park fans as we aim to connect you to more of what makes you happy. For more information, visit kingdomreportlive.com. And now, back to the magic.
Kingdom Team All Call time. This is where we take your questions and provide the best possible answers that we can muster. Today, Miguel McDonald has reached out to us to ask about the Genie Plus service, and more specifically, is anyone else concerned that the Genie Plus service is going to establish a two-tiered guest experience at the Disney parks? One experience for everyone who can afford the extra to skip the lines, and one for everyone else. Garrett Hassel, our Walt Disney World reporter, along with our theme park analyst, terrifying Tyler Crouch, killer Katrina Manzoni, our travel agent in residency, all here to chat about this very question. And, Tyler, we'll start with you. The Genie Plus service, at the very least, is controversial. At the very least, is something that people have vocalized having a problem with, especially Disney diehards. You have 20 years of experience with FastPass being free. And now, here we are where, at least in Walt Disney World, it's yet to be rolled out at Disneyland, at least at Walt Disney World, now what was once free is now being charged for, and even surplus charges are being tacked on on especially busy days for certain attractions. Is this creating a two-tiered experience for guests?
Well, I mean, yes. I mean, how could it not? But, I guess the question of, does it upset me or does it worry me? Not really. I don't know. I feel like companies have been doing this sort of thing for years. Look at, airlines or, railways
Video
or something.
games.
You can pay for first-class seats there. You get on the plane first. You have a better experience than other people do. But does it mean that they should get rid of first class? I don't know about that. Same thing for hotel rooms and stuff. You could get a better experience if you put more money into a hotel. Does that mean there shouldn't be nice hotels? I don't know. I just don't think it's. I guess the thing that probably upsets you the most is that people are gonna be getting in front of you in line, possibly, and you have to pay more to get that experience. I understand that sucks and it's frustrating, but if you think about it, it's been a long time coming. This was going to happen. I mean, to be fair, Disney is the last theme park that last major theme park that I can think of that has started charging for this type of service. I mean, Universal's been doing this for years. Knott's Berry Farm, Cedar Point, they have their little fast track lane, and it's just, even SeaWorld does this sort of stuff. So I don't know. It's been such a long time since Disney even started charging for money that I can't really be that mad at them, because like for years I was like, okay, well, Disney's gonna start charging someday because everybody else is, and it just took something like COVID to actually finally get them to pull the trigger on it. But there's a lot of companies that make tiered products, and that's just the way it is. And I don't know. It doesn't worry me or upset me. Maybe I'm like not thrilled about it, but that's the way that like most products are, or a lot of products are. So.
And Katrina, this many people have said it could potentially be a gateway into upcharging for a lot of other things that used to once be free. We've lost a couple of things out at Walt Disney World even recently that were considered complimentary. You had your extra magic hours to a certain degree that were wiped off the map, and now only for exclusive opportunities or certain levels of Disney Resort guests. And you think about like Disney's Magical Express. After the first of the year, that's not an option anymore for a complimentary add-on. So is this also potentially a gateway for things to be upcharged here in the near future?
100%. There's a part of me that like makes it a joke in my mind, being like, watch, they're going to start charging for trams.
Oh,
for tram
geez.
rides.
Maybe that's why they're holding out on bringing them back, huh?
Like,
That's when people would revolt.
You can
That's
buy
when
a
the
one-way
picket signs
ticket
are
or
coming
round
out.
trip, but
the doors won't open unless you insert your
unless you
your
scan
gift card or your
you have to have like a wristband or something to go on. Like, I mean, they've always had some kind of two-tier system in a way. When even with FastPass, yes, it was included in your ticket, but even if you're a resort guest, you would always get first dibs compared to non-resort guests, and that was also a tiered system. And then even with dining, that was like a tiered system. So you always had it, but now it's like it's more monetary, and they keep raising the prices of tickets. So even that, like, like the inflation and stuff, when they would always raise the price of tickets, it was kind of like, oh, okay, well, FastPass was included, and now it's like a hard pill to swallow because the rates for the tickets keep going up, but now also you have to pay for the Genie Plus and the Lightning lanes. I don't know how it's going to do it in Disneyland, because I can't imagine annual pass holders shoveling, $40 a day on top of the Genie Plus for those, like, those rides when, we have annual pass holders, they do single rider. Like, that's what we do, right? Yeah. So I can't imagine people going and spending $15. I forgot what their estimating thing was for Radiator Springs racers, but I can't imagine that happening at Disneyland. But in Disney World, I mean, I don't know. They've always had like a two-tier system, so I mean, it's not a shocker, but it is and it isn't. But yeah, now they're adding in more prices, so I'm sure there's something that's gonna happen with like the monorail or the trams or something. They're gonna make you pay more for it, or to at least, I don't know, get some kind of transportation, the buses.
Even if you think about it in with the hotels at Disney World, like if you spend the most amount of money to get to one of the, like the Polynesian or the Grand Floridian or the Contemporary, you get better transportation than a lot of other people do on the Disney property. Like, so I don't know. I just don't see, like, to me, it's just so similar to all these different things that you can pay extra money to get, that, it just doesn't seem like it's going to be that much off your back at the end of the day.
And what do you think, personally? Garrett Hassel? What as your backyard of Walt Disney World and somebody that has spent many years there, something?
Yeah, like as someone that can be more local, as like a local would, like this doesn't really affect you. You're like, oh, hey, this afternoon I'm going to go check out Tower of Terror. I'll just wait 30 minutes and then I'll leave. It's different. What I will say is, as long as this doesn't turn into the old school system where you have the like e-ticket and you actually pull it down, you have to pay per attraction, regardless of FastPass or not, I think we'll be good. I'm hoping in the long term that this will not be there forever. I'm hoping that, hey, right now Disney lost billions in the pandemic, and this is their way of making it back. And then once they get out of it, maybe toning it down a little bit or revamping it in some way. But Of course, everyone likes the old fast pass system. It's free. Usually the free things are better. That's why people like Costco, because you give out the free samples. But I probably won't spend any on either Genie or Genie Plus unless it's like really something that's spectacular, like Tron and Guardians. That seems like something more worthwhile because they're brand new. Like Ratatouille, I got to experience that when I went to Disney Paris. Prior to this, I got to do Rise of the Resistance plenty of times. So this might be something that is better around holiday times, or especially, summer months like 4th of July. But on the day-to-day, like, I'm willing to wait 30 extra minutes to wait in that line. Especially, we've got technology. We can just, go on our phones, chill in line, and the parks will stay open later. But yeah, this, it seems like a messy system right now. I'm hoping in the future it gets a lot better. But for right now, as long as it doesn't turn into a roller coaster tycoon type of thing where you're like, oh, we're going to charge for every single attraction on top of your already
like an A through
pass.
E ticket.
Yeah. Like bring back the old school system. Not so good. We're going to pay $110 to enter the park. Then $10 to go on Space Mountain, $5 to meet Mickey. As long as they don't do that for everything, regardless of standby or fast pass or lightning lane, we're good.
Well, thank you for that. Yeah, you let us know in the comment section. Are you somebody that finds value in the Genie Plus service? Is that something that you are going to be purchasing on your next trip to Walt Disney World? Do you feel like it creates a 2-tier guest system, and are you cool with that? Is this going to lead to something perhaps more sinister in terms of upcharges? You let us know in the comment section. As always, your perspective matters. All right, my friends, that about wraps things up for us. Thank you so much for being a part of the broadcast. Before we get out of here, you do need to win yourself your very own Disney World 50th anniversary merchandise. That's right, we are giving away a 50th anniversary ball cap. All you got to do is leave a comment underneath this very video as soon as the live video posts on our YouTube page, the YouTube Kingdom Report channel. That is, leave the comment underneath this video. Magical Celebration. Magical Celebration is the comment you need to leave. That's the phrase that pays. And between now and Monday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific time, that is your window to enter. We will reach out to you if you have won. Hey, remember, the legacy of Walt Disney, it lives on because of people like you and I. We'll see you next week for another edition of Kingdom Report Live.